they complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country.
Look, whether you love his delivery or not, you cannot deny that Trump is the only person on the world stage who speaks the language of the forgotten American. Watching him go after Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar is a reminder of what real leadership looks like. It's not about being politically correct. It's about protecting the home front. In this video, Trump is reacting to the massive fraud scandals and the cultural shifts happening in Minnesota, and he's asking the question we're all thinking. Why are we importing people who hate our Constitution? It's a bold take, but it's a necessary one. If you're tired of seeing billions of taxpayer dollars disappear into scandals while the people responsible lecture us on morality, this video is for you.
And they also sent drugs. Yeah.
On Tim Walz, Mr. President, do you think he should resign over the fraud scandal in his state?
And who should?
Tim Walz, over the fraud scandal in his state.
Look, I think the man's a grossly incompetent man. I thought that from the day I watched J.D. destroy him in the debate. I was saying, who was more incompetent, that man or my man? I had a man and he had a man. They were both incompetent, and I had a man and a woman. I thought she was very incompetent too, but now she's leading the field, and I think she's leading the field in the nomination. Anyway, look, that's up to them. That's up to the Democrats. You know, the problem with them is they have really bad policy. And I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want them to change it necessarily. Because I want to run against it, whether it's not going to be me, it's going to be somebody that's going to probably sitting at this table. Could be a couple of people sitting at this table. Could be a couple of people running together sitting at this table, you know. But I want them to win because we've done a great job for this country, and I want that to be carried forward. And you know, I think we have a tremendous bench, really a tremendous bench. But no, I think that Walz is a grossly incompetent man. There's something wrong with him. Okay, there's something wrong with him. And when you look at what he's done with Somalia, which is barely a country, you know, they have no anything. They just run around killing each other. There's no structure. And when I see somebody like Ilhan Omar, who I don't know at all, but I always watch her for years. I've watched her complain about our Constitution, how she's being treated badly. Our Constitution, the United States of America, is a bad place. Hates everybody, hates Jewish people, hates everybody. And I think she's an incompetent person. She's a real terrible person. But when I watch what is happening in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes, or however many lakes they have, they got a lot of lakes, but this beautiful place, and I see these people ripping it off, and now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at that's good. I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country is no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, so we just finished the full clip, and wow, there's a lot to unpack there. First off, let's talk about his assessment of Tim Walz. Calling him grossly incompetent might actually be an understatement given the fraud scandals Trump is referencing. He brings up the debate where J.D. Vance basically dismantled Walz and highlights a broader point. The Democratic bench is weak because their policies are built on a foundation of failure. Trump is sitting there basically saying, I want to run against these people because their policies are so bad for the country. That's the confidence of a man who knows he has the results to back it up. But where he really gets fired up, and where I think he hits the nail on the head, is when he talks about Ilhan Omar and the situation with the Somali refugee community in Minnesota. Trump points out something that a lot of people are afraid to mention, the lack of gratitude. He talks about how Omar has spent years complaining about the very Constitution that gives her the right to speak. Think about that for a second. You come from a place that he describes as hell, a place with no structure, where people are just run around killing each other. And you get a seat in the United States Congress, and all you do is bitch and moan about how bad America is. It's a slap in the face to every American who worked hard to build this country. The stats he drops are staggering, mentioning billions of dollars being ripped off from the state and a welfare rate that he claims is around 88%. If those numbers are even close to accurate, that is a systemic failure of leadership. He's right to say we are at a tipping point. We cannot continue to be the world's ATM and doormat. When he says, I don't want them in our country, their country stinks, the media is going to call him a racist. But listen to what he's actually saying. He's talking about culture and contribution. He wants people who say, let's go, let's make this place great, not people who treat the U.S. like a piggy bank while trashing our values. Trump is being the bad cop that America needs right now. He's looking at a beautiful place like the land of 1,000 lakes and seeing it get torn apart by incompetence and fraud. His message is simple. If you come here, love us. If you come here, work. And if you're just here to complain and grift, maybe it's time to go back and fix the place you came from. It's raw, it's unfiltered, and honestly, it's exactly what an America First policy looks like in practice. You don't have to like the words to realize the logic is sound. We have to rebuild our country first.